by the head coach, Bryce Drew. And, Coach, first of all, congratulations on the victory. And there's a lot of numbers to go over, but a great start to the first half. Got a little loose in the middle there. Great finish to the end of the first half. And that second half was just great offensive basketball from you guys.
Really love the passing. Coming off a couple tough games, traveling on the road. Again, this is a San Jose State team that's been in one-possession games late with UNLV, Colorado State. In their last couple, New Mexico, was a good close game. And so we knew that it was going to be hard and it was going to be a struggle. And, we knew it had to start with our defense. And, even though they shot, 49%, I thought our defense really contested things and made things hard for them. And I liked our energy level for 40 minutes. I didn't feel, even when they had that run, I didn't feel a lapse in our energy like we weren't, giving our best on the defensive end.
Usually, so many times this season we've talked about how defense wins a game, but what's it like to look at this sort of offensive efficiency, especially backing off of the threes and really getting inside the paint with, like you said, the passing, the turnovers cut back, and how many 30 for 38 inside the arc today?
Yeah, I thought guys really passed the ball well. Nan had some great post feeds. Makai got in the lane and passed. I thought Jaden, really saw the floor. Had 8 assists. Brian Makai had 6 assists. And man, that's fun basketball to watch, fun basketball to be a part of. And, happy for these guys. It's been a hard, last 10 days. When you lose, it is, as you guys know, it is not fun. And it's hard to get back momentum, to get back winning. And so, we went down 10 in that first half. And, our guys, if it was earlier in the season, our guys could have stayed in a little bit of a lull, especially being on the road. But instead of separating and one guy trying to go out and just do it, I thought collectively as a group they became even closer and shared the ball more and helped each other more on defense.
Coach, I know you wanted to play more guys and kind of see what different rotations you could use. I know most coaches try to play 7. They're comfortable playing 7 or 8 deep, especially as you get deeper in conference and into the postseason. Thought you were able to really use Dusty and Wilhelm and mix them in with some other guys to give Kai, Henley, and some of those guys some rest here.
Yeah, I definitely think, that helped. Jane still played a bit too many at 35 and then at 37. Evan, Dennis, Caleb, they came in, they did some good things. They, we got to play and rest some guys for the second half. But hopefully the more they play, the more comfortable they'll get out there. But again, it's the other guys have such a rhythm. They played so many minutes together. It'll take time for some of the other guys to maybe get in a rhythm with them just because they haven't been on the court with them for the most part of this year. I thought it was one of Will's better games. Will hasn't played as well as what he's capable lately, and he's been working a lot on his shootings. He's a much better shooter than what he's shot. And, for him to make that one at the end, hopefully that's good momentum because we're going to need him to make some outside shots, here going down the stretch in our last 6 games.
When you gave those bench guys a second shot, Dusty and Will, and brought them back in again at the end of the first half, it seemed like they had a better feel and rhythm, particularly Will's help defense on guards and inside against bigs looked like it was a key. You shut him out for the last 4 minutes.
Yeah, it was much better. And, again, I thought he moved better. I thought he reacted better. I thought he had just a little bit more aggression to what he was doing on both ends. And I thought F.A. was tremendous too. F.A. had that, a segment in the second half where we needed baskets, and he kept getting baskets. And he got in foul trouble, and that's when we pulled him out. But, he was a big part of us getting that lead.
Coach, I know part of your system you run is to get those open looks at the threes. In the first half, you only shot 21%. You took half the 3-point shots in the second half. I think, the driving, the pull-up jumpers were really working for you guys. But 3 of 6, shot the ball, moved the ball a lot better to get some good looks at threes in that second half.
Yeah, we did. And, thankfully we saw a few go in. We're definitely capable of shooting the ball better. If Dusty can get 7 clean looks from 3, I'll take that every game. I thought Jaden's 5 were clean. He made 2. Makai took 1 tough one in the first half. But besides that, I thought we had 19 really clean looks from 3. And, we hit 6, of those 19 clean ones. And, when we're playing really well, we got to hit a few more. It'll make things make the offense go even smoother.
I got to be honest. I was super excited for Will's first 3 in a long time, but his foot was on the line.
Yeah,
Can
so
we
was
get
I.
that guy to bring that big size
know.
16 back a little bit, or can we look and can we challenge that call? What are we doing?
I know, like I said, he's a capable shooter, and so we need him to make shots for us, and hopefully that'll give him some momentum, in the future to be able to make more for us.
Amazing effort from a 6-man rotation, especially the defensive perimeter pressure they were bringing on you early. How'd you feel like your guys adjusted from that down the stretch, and especially to take better care of the ball in the second half?
Yeah, well, Lopes fans, we got a Javon Blackshear here. So
how can we not mention Lope royalty?
Yeah. We just brought Javon.
We got a Javon Blackshear Jr. sighting here.
Hey,
Say hi to the fans.
Tell Lope Nation hi real quick.
What up, Lope Nation? What up?
Guna in the house.
So it's awesome to see Javon. He came to our game. We just had him in the locker room back there. So I was just telling the team how, when I got the job, he never met me, and he stayed at GCU. And that's such a great compliment to the school that he would stay not even knowing who this new coach was coming in. And, obviously led us to our first NCAA tournament. So it's great to see him. But going back, to our guys, I thought, like you said, they really pressured us. And us being fresh in those last 10 minutes, I thought, or a little fresher, really helped. And I thought rebounding was key. You go into games and, when you get 13 offensive rebounds and 21 second chance points, that's a huge part of the game.
What was Jaden's adjustment from first half to second half, just as far as the ball carry? He was getting his points regardless, but he seemed to really tighten that up.
Yeah, I think once he got a couple baskets to go in, he got a little bit more assured of himself and a little bit more assured of where his, lanes were to go. Again, Jaden's a young man. He's an excellent young man that really cares. And we talked about this before. Sometimes when you care so much, you might get locked up a little bit within yourself because you want to do so well. Like, he wants to win. He wants to do so well. But once he gets to those moments where you can see he plays with, like, that freedom and, his mind is just attacking the rim and he's making plays, he's so dynamic. And that was his most dynamic game, passing. He had the early turnovers, but to end with 8 assists and 5 rebounds, we love the all-around game that he had.
When you had the individual meetings this week, is that one of the things that really came out when you talked to him about, you say how much Jaden cares and, a lot of these guys running down the stretch of their career right now?
Yeah, there's, when you're in a top 6, league in the country, mental is just as big as physical. And you go back a couple weeks ago, mentally we were so tough, so strong. We've taken some lumps, and it's mentally wearing on you. And so, this is a great lesson for basketball. We talk about, same thing in life. Like, you got to be mentally tough and get ready for your next game. And that's why I'm proud of, what they did coming on the road and going down 10 in the first half, mentally really coming together and staying in tune with our game plan and executing together.
Hey, Coach, congrats. Thanks for the time. We'll see you in San Diego.
Thank you. Thanks, those fans.
That's the head coach, Bryce Drew. 94-79, the final. And this one, we'll take a break, come back with Jaden Henley right